I don't want to say like who, because I get in trouble. But oh, this is an interesting. This is kind of in what ways was the Trivia Delinquent inspired by Arthur Fonzarelli?
Oh, 100%.
Was it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Jacket. I mean, they let me. That was the thing I did on MTV. I wore a leather jacket. I had a tattoo on my neck.
No, it was hilarious.
It was good. Quinn got me all that stuff.
Yeah.
Quinn was the only reason I got on MTV because he was a powerhouse in it.
Oh my God.
And Remote Control was his show, and he when I first started stand-up, he was the guy who used to bring me out there, and he said, I'm telling you, this Adam kid's funny. And I don't think they like me that much, but he forced me on them.
Yeah, Quinn was the king then. Still is, really.
Yeah. He's pretty good on the Twitter, too, eh?
Yeah, he's hilarious on Twitter. But Quinn and Attell still kind of rule the New York scene.
Oh, yeah,
there's the young people, but
Sure.
there's the ladies.
Yeah. They're ruling, too?
And they have a big advantage because they're both comedians and they're ladies.
Yeah. Funny ladies.
So then people go, well, who do you want? Well, there's that one comedian. She's a comedian, and she's also a lady.
Yeah.
And then it gets...
It's more common, though.
Huh? Oh, it's common now.
SNL is very...
They rule.
They rule the SNL.
Well, who is bigger than Tina Fey?
She's strong.
Too big to fail. Here's a question. You cast a bunch of professional wrestlers in your remake of The Longest Yard. Are they better actors than Norm Macdonald? That's probably pretty close, huh?
Similar.
I mean,
You've always had that thing, remember it? I used to tell you you're kind of doing George the Animal Steel.
I always thought it was more like Dick the Bruiser.
You told me when I first met you I want to be the Freddie Blassie of comedy.
When I was a kid, my guy was a guy named Edward Carpentier.
Was he French Canadian?
He was French Canadian. He was the good guy, and the bad guy was Mad Dog Vachon. So one time we saw the greatest thing I ever saw was, here was Carpentier's big move, because it was much less athletic back then. He would get up on the rope, do a backwards flip onto the thing, then do a backwards somersault, and then punch the guy in the face. But the guy was so impressed by the athleticism of what he'd just seen.
All right, overwhelmed by me. That's great.
Well, one time, the greatest thing I ever saw was in the Verdun Arena in the middle of the ice. They had set up, because they had an ice hockey game that night. Canadians don't say ice hockey, but so Carpentier threw Vachon over the net onto the ice. Vachon hit his. The goal light went on, and then you looked up, and there was Carpentier. He had hit the goal light.
Oh man,
that was some
place
moment.
went bananas.
Holy crow!
Hey, I saw
place went,
Fuji and Tanaka.
Oh,
at our in Manchester, New Hampshire.
They were
at
violent.
Those two is Fuji and Tanaka against Andre the Giant.
Oh, wow.
I was at that.
Wow.
And Andre the Giant went bananas on him.
Yeah.
And he locked old Tanaka.
Yeah.
He put him on the turnbuckle, the highest one, took the middle rope, put it over his leg so he was kind of like stuck in there. Yeah. And Tanaka started crying like a baby. Pretty good.
He was a big man. He couldn't fall down.
Andre?
No, because he wouldn't be able to get up.
That would be tough.
And then he couldn't be beat, you know?
Yeah, you can't
Kind of do that slapping. And that's where they came up with the only thing that frightened him. No man frightened the giant. A snake.
Oh, they brought one in there.
Yeah, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh, that's what beat him?
Yep.
Whoa, I forgot. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, dude.
Not afraid of it. Would you ever go on a tour, says Betty Boop 88.
That's a good idea.
Yeah? Get a bus.
Yeah, I would do it if I, down the line, I got to write an act.
You were a hell of a stand-up. I opened for you, I don't know if you remember. I guess probably one of your last tours of stand-up. When you were at SNL.
Yeah.
We went somewhere.
And
I just remember the Bruce Springsteen forgetting his line.
Oh, yeah. That was the greatest. Remember we all used to go on tour together?
Yeah, it was so much fun, by golly.
I got to get an act again. You still doing it?
Yes.
Oh, you're doing it?
I have too much material.
Yeah, I bet. You don't want to get off.
I started down just talking to the audience.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Talking to the crowd. Then whatever they bring up,
You do jokes?
I pretty well have a joke on
That's pretty great.
on every subject. Here's a question.
Go, baby.
This is an interesting question because, this is for a regular person, this would be something, but for a person with as much fame as you've accrued, this is interesting. Who is the most famous person you have ever met?
Whoa. McCartney.
Oh, wow.
You too, I'm sure.
I wasn't there.
You didn't get to
I remember that story about Frank and...
Oh, that's George Harrison.
Oh, was it?
He slammed the piano.
And how'd that story go?
I think George was up visiting the writing room and he started tinkering down the piano. And as a joke, Franken slammed down the keys. Almost hit his finger and just said, "We're writing in here." Or something. Yeah. As a joke.
As a joke.
We got better things to do.
But then it kind of ruined the whole...
I think right, exactly. Everyone was upset they didn't get to hear the jam session.
Instead of the jam session, they heard a Franken show. Senator Al Franken.
Did you ever get have a bit that didn't make it to air that you were always like, I wish that one made it?
Probably, yeah. I had a few that I tried to force back. Downey eventually would get my stuff on. If I told Downey, if I begged him, I was like, you gotta let me try that one thing. And he would take a few tries and then I'd get it. I don't remember any in particular, but.
Sax Jockey 657.
Sax?
Sax Jockey 657.
Gotcha.
Not to be confused. You had to turn down Inglourious Bastards due to a scheduling conflict. Is that true?
It was I know Tarantino, and he would tell me for years he was writing that movie and he had a part for me. But at that time they were shooting, I shot Funny People with Apatow. So I had to stay around. Yep.
Another interesting confluence of events happened recently.
What happened?
With the Tarantino movie, he had this movie that was
Magnificent Eight?
The Amazing Eight or something like that, based on the Magnificent Seven. Pardon me? The Hateful Eight was a parody, or all his movies are sort of comedies, I think.
Yeah,
I agree.
And at the same time, you were planning The Ridiculous Six.
Still going, buddy.
And it's still going.
Yeah, you're in it.
And I'm in it. Who do I play?
You'll see. You wear a cowboy hat, though.
I can do...
You always like Slim Pickens.
I can do Slim
I
Pickens.
feel like the Ridiculous Six are doing what they're doing, and you just keep
I
going,
just
what are you
keep
guys
going.
doing?
He buttons everything.
Maybe that.
Was it wide enough to cut out?
The
Yeah.
industry calls them the human button.
I think I would be better with 7. I think you'd be better with 7. That's Andy Devine. Okay. Oh, this is, I'm not sure. Oh, yes, I do know this game.
What?
Gelatinous 3 says there's a game called Fuck, Marry, Kill.
I don't know it. Oh, who would I rather fuck?
Who would you choose to fuck? Who would you choose to marry?